What's poppin'? It's your boy Micah coming to you live from Queens, NYC, and I just walked out of St. Michael's Cemetery. Freshly walked out of there. Coming at you with a short video just to drop a couple of knowledge bombs, you know what I'm saying, to help out the legit practitioners. Excuse the glare, by the way. It's warming up and it's starting to get hot as fuck out here. I want to start off by saying if you are a potential client, you're looking for a reading, divination, looking to see an enemy fall, do death work, healing work, all that good shit, then hit me up. We can do a consultation, see if you need work to be done, and if so, we'll develop a plan and take it from there. Now, the first thing I want to clarify is that you cannot let assumption and bias dictate how you interpret the death essence in cemeteries. For example, such as this cemetery, yes, the death essence is there, but it is not your typical heavy kind of essence. Each cemetery is different, and the kind of death essence you feel depends heavily upon the way the people in that area perceive death. This is especially true if you go to other countries. For example, if you go to China, one of the cemeteries there, you're going to perceive very heavy sorceress influences in that cemetery. There's a lot of Chinese necromancers, did shit, trapping souls, summoning spirits, summoning various astral creatures that dwell in the cemetery, that kind of thing. Meanwhile, here in New York City, the energies are very balanced. People have a very balanced understanding of death. So yes, you sense sadness, grief, and loss, but you also sense a joyous vibe as well. So you cannot assume that all cemeteries are the same. So, with that being said, alright man, take care. So with that being said, once again, do not let assumption and bias assume and rule how you interpret the energies in the cemetery. Also, there's two different levels. There's multiple levels, but the main two are the ethereal and the astral counterparts of said cemetery, whatever cemetery you are in. The ethereal, that's where you'll sense the death essence, the souls of the dead, that kind of thing. That's where you sense the energies. You'll be able to do your grave lording, your necromantic magic, some of your workings, that kind of stuff. The astral part of the cemetery, however, is where you will find very unholy creatures, such as wraiths, werewolves. Yes, they do exist, and some do reside in the cemetery, but that's the topic for another video. You'll find a wide variety of entities there, slaying dead celestials. You'll find some demons feeding off of the life force of the dead. Yes, the dead do have life force, even though they're not among the living. You'll find a wide variety of different entities there. And from there, you can either trap them, do so at your own risk, I'm going to tell you now, especially with the werewolves, do so at your own fucking risk. You can work with them, channel them, develop legions, and go from there. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is this. The dead talk. The world of the dead is just that, a world. And there is communication in between the barons of the cemetery, no matter where you are, where the other cemetery is. There is communication between the spirits of the dead. There's communication between the various unholy creatures there. All that shit. So, you could go to a new cemetery you've never been to before, and you can pick up a feeling like the dead were expecting you, because they were. They heard about your deeds, they heard about your power, they heard about all that other kind of shit. And it removes a lot of obstacles out the way. You'll find a lot less resistance to your will. And I'm not going to say you'll find a form of submission, because the dead submit to no one. But you'll find a grand degree of cooperation, so to speak, in your workings and in your path. Also, as a little tidbit, one thing that really struck me today, not just about this cemetery, but about death in general. If you notice, you have to pay to be buried. Now, for some people this is obvious, but there's a deeper esoteric implication here. The cemetery is a place of commerce. it's, I'm not going to say it's under Mercury, but it can be a subcurrent under the energy of Mercury, dealing with business, trade, commerce, theft, i.e. grave robbing. That's why they call it grave robbing, all this other kind of shit. So the cemetery is a great place for you to do your money magic. The thing is, you're not building the death essence when you do this. You're building the current, the monetary current that was put into the cemetery due to trade and business going forth. Same thing with the ocean. I remember I was talking to Valero and back in Texas, and she was saying that the ocean is one of the largest cemeteries in the world. Think about how many shipwrecks occurred, how many people died due to drowning, due to animals and creatures being filled with the supernatural bloodlust, and they suddenly get eaten alive. Also, you gotta think about how much business goes across the seas, goes across the ocean, how much of our world economy is dependent upon the trade going across the oceans. So, you have the ocean being used not just for death magic, but for business magic as well, and money magic. So just keep those tidbits of knowledge in mind. That's all I wanted to present to you guys today. I'm going to be coming out with more videos soon, so please bear with me. And till next time, in the words of one of my homeboys from Texas, do not add to the population, do not detract from the population, don't go to jail, and if you do go to jail, establish dominance quickly. Peace out.